Hi friends, I'm Bobby. I'm back with another video on manifestation. I shared my last video about scripting with some friends of mine in real life, and it actually, I think, went over pretty well and it was helpful. And so I decided to make more videos because what I found with my first video is, even though it was really helpful, it actually created more questions. So I thought, I'm going to just suck it up and do a series and go over how I manifest, law of attraction, tools and tricks and techniques that I use that work for me really well. And so here we go. So we're going to jump into it. And today's topic is going to be visualization and how you can use that tool of visualization for manifestation purposes. There are many different ways that we can visualize, and I'm sure in future videos we'll go over different ways that you can visualize. But for the sake of today's video, I want to focus on a visualization technique that I use, and I have named it the pretend game. I don't know if there's a real name for what I do, but here we're going to call it the pretend game. So, the pretend game, what is it? The pretend game is a game that I like to play when I am trying to manifest something really big. So for instance, here's a great example. I won a car. How did I win a car? Like, won a car, you know, that's amazing. Like, you never meet someone who won a car. Anyone can win a car. You can win a car. I won a car. How I won my car, and I have a video here on my channel that you can find where I tell the whole story of how I won my car. But basically, the stars aligned and I got entered into a contest to win a car. And what I did was I imagined myself for weeks leading up to when the actual drawing for the car was. I visualized myself driving that car. I visualized what the weather was like, what the street conditions were, what street I was on, what businesses was I passing, what kind of music did I have playing on the radio? Was it warm out? Did I have my windows, up, down? What it felt like to sit in the car? I visualized everything about this car. And lo and behold, I won the car. Okay, so that's how I won the car. So what is the pretend game? Let's break it down and really go through what it is and how it can help you. My favorite time to play the pretend game is at night before I fall asleep. There are studies that go into the different types of brain waves and our brain waves when we are in different states, so resting, sleeping, things like that. And Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about the different optimal times when it's a good time for you throughout your day to meditate or do visualization. So for me, I found that right before I fall asleep is really effective for me. Some people like to do this when they first wake up because they are in those states. If you want more information on that, there's a book, Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. It's an amazing book and it talks all about this. Okay, so back on tracks. So what the pretend game is it's a game that I play, or it's a visualization technique that I do, and I do it as I'm falling asleep. And what I do is I will think about what it is that I'm trying to manifest. And this is a really great tool if you're trying to manifest, especially like really big things. So life changes, things like that. Manifesting like homes, large purchases. This is really, really helpful. So what the pretend game is it's an exercise in visualization. But not only do you visualize what you're trying to manifest, you go through an entire experience, a sensory experience, because the more senses you involve in your manifestation, the easier and the faster it is to manifest big things. A real example that I use right now for the pretend game is manifesting a home. I want to buy a house. I want some very specific things about this dream house. So what I am doing is at night I lay down and I'm ready to fall asleep and I close my eyes, and then I imagine, what does my dream house look like? And it's not just what it looks like. So I imagine, what is the style of the home? Does it have carpet? Does it have tile? What does the landscaping at the front look like? What does the front door look like? And then I think about things like, how many bedrooms does it have? What kind of space do I need? How does it look? Okay, so then I've addressed how it looks and I've got the visual down. Great. Now I want to put myself in my home, in my imagination, so that I'm standing in that home, and in my imagination, in my visualization, I walk around and I imagine, what will it feel like on my feet? Am I barefoot? Is there cool tile? Is there soft carpet? So I imagine that, okay, what is it going to smell like? Is it going to smell like freshly painted walls? Is it going to smell like yummy incense that I burn? Is it going to smell like a scented candle? Is it going to smell like fresh air? So I imagine all of the smells. Is something baking? Have I recently cleaned? Does it smell like Pine Sol? You go through all of that smells. What does it smell like? So if you're trying to manifest a car, cars are great for this, because what does it smell like? New car smell. Like, we all know new car smell, right? Please excuse all of the background noise. I'm filming outside, and where I live, there is an airport close by and a military base close by. So there's going to be a lot of overhead air traffic noise. So anyway, and then once you get the smell part of it down, then you want to go into the next sensory experience, which might be hearing. So what do we hear? Are there airplanes flying overhead? Are there birds chirping in my new house? Do I hear the sound of my kids playing and running and having fun? Is it silent and serene? Is it like chattery? Are my grandkids there? Are my parents there? So I imagine everything I'm going to hear. Am I going to hear, holiday music at Christmas time? Am I going to hear the sound of my dad cooking in the kitchen? What am I going to hear? And so I imagine all of the different sounds I'm going to hear. And then I go on to the next sensory experience, which might be taste. What does house taste like, right? Well, it doesn't taste like anything, but I imagine, like, what is Thanksgiving dinner going to be like? In my new house with my family there. And I think of, like, the foods that we're going to eat, like the turkey and the mashed potatoes and the gravy, and I can just imagine what that tastes like. And then I just imagine those tastes in that home, hearing those sounds and seeing those things and feeling what I feel, under my feet and with my hands. And so it's a full sensory experience, and that's what's really important when you do visualization. And the nice thing is that when you are visualizing, especially if you do it at night before you go to sleep, that's going to be the last thought that you have. And that's going to be, what is on your mind. You could potentially dream about it, but that's just putting that energy out there and visualizing it. I talked in my last video about vibration and how we have to vibrate. Everything has vibration. And we know this scientifically, because if we look at atoms are tiny little vibrating particles of matter. We know that they're constantly moving and that they're not solid. And everything is made up of atoms. So everything is moving and isn't solid. So I look at this couch, or this couch I'm sitting on, and it looks solid, but it's really not. It's made up of tiny little atoms that are moving and that are vibrating. We are also made up of atoms, and we are vibrational beings. Everything has a vibration. We see this really clearly in light rays and sound waves, or light waves and sound waves. Everything has a vibrational pattern to it. And so in order for us to manifest things, we need to be on the same vibrational plane as whatever that thing is, in order to bring it to us, to bring it into our existence and to manifest it. And so a really powerful way to vibrate at the level of what it is that you're trying to manifest is to do this visualization technique, and to put yourself in that situation, and not just, I wish I had a house that looked like this, but put yourself there. With every sense that you have, you put yourself into that situation, and the universe will have no choice but to bring it to you, because you're already there. It already exists. And I think it's important too that when we visualize, we have to have the faith that what we want does already exist, and that it's just waiting for us to step into it. I think if we were trying to visualize something, but we tell ourselves, well, but that doesn't exist, or it's so far away, or oh, I really, really want it, but I don't know, it's not for me, or I'm not worthy, I don't deserve, something like that. Well, then we're never going to be able to achieve that or manifest it. So it's that vibrational level, and you want to vibrate at that level of what it is that you want. And we do that through, one way is through visualization, and the pretend game is a really great way to bring yourself there to that level, so that you can manifest those really big things. And if you experience yourself in it, then you can start to believe that you are worthy and that you do deserve it, because in your visualizations, in your mind, you're already there. You've already achieved it. It already exists. You just have to wait for the physical world that we're in right now just to catch up to you, but it will catch up to you. Think of, all of the things that you've wanted in the past, and then, that you have right now. It's amazing to really think about. I think about that on a daily basis, wanting to move, like I talked about in my last video, wanting to move to this specific town and get this specific job that I have. And 4 months before I stepped into it, I knew that it existed. And then when I got into it, then instead of just like, okay, great, thanks, what's the next thing I want? Spending that time, that gratitude, really like, oh, I have this, I have it. I have what I wanted. And yeah, there's lots of things I want. I want to manifest a house, but right now, that house is going to be there, and I'm going to manifest it. But right now, being in like this space with all this other stuff I've manifested, it's a really good space of gratitude. And that's what I talked about in my last video, is when we have gratitude in our hearts, it opens us up to be able to receive more. And then we can begin to bring those additional things to us through that act of visualization. And it's incredibly powerful. And you really want to feel emotions with it too. So not only are you going through the sensory experience, but you also need to tie in the emotional experience with it. So I'm sure you could see when I was talking about it, and I didn't touch on it, I didn't talk about it, but when I was explaining on this video, the smells, I started talking about, the holidays and my kids, and you could see me light up, and you could see the joy that I was feeling and thinking about that. And I think that's another really key component, are the feelings you feel. So it's that feeling of like, how am I going to feel? I'm going to be happy. I'm going to feel joy. I'm going to feel a sense of accomplishment that I, was able to get that home. I'm going to feel a sense of pride as a mother that I could give that to my children. And so recognizing also not just what the sensory experience is, but what the feeling experiences that's going to go along with it. Those two things are your key when it comes to visualization. You need to feel it, and then you need to feel it. Like it's really, really important. But the pretend game is really great because, you've had you have a stressful day, and, if you're like me, you try to lay down at night, and everything comes to your mind. It's like, oh, I've got these bills to pay. Oh, being on this person at work, whatever. Or, oh, my spouse, or, my kids were horrible. We think about all these things, and then a lot of times people have insomnia and have such a difficult time falling asleep at night because they can't get their brain to shut off. Okay, if you're one of those people, use that to your advantage. So instead of laying there at night, not being able to sleep and thinking about all of the things that aren't going right or all of the worries that you have, play the pretend game and put yourself somewhere amazing, and you will be amazed at how actually quickly you fall asleep. I don't get very far now into the pretend game because usually I'm asleep really quickly into it because it's just so great. I feel so good. I can relax. I can fall asleep. So, it's like, is there a vacation that you want to take? Okay, pretend game time. So you lay down at night and you're super stressed out, and you've had a day, and instead of laying there and going through all that in your day, just, okay, my vacation. I'm going to Hawaii. I'm on a beach. Oh, I can feel the sun on my face, and I can hear the waves crashing against the shore, and I can smell the salt in the air, and I can taste the Mai Tai, and I feel the heat from the sun, and how the sunblock feels on my skin, and and boom, I'm out. So it's really great because it could really help you manifest, help you bring really good things. It helps with stress levels, and it helps with anxiety because you spend your time in that beautiful, beautiful place. And that's going to tie in also with meditation. And I'm going to save the meditation topic for another video. Meditation is a really important tool to use for manifestation, and I know it can be difficult, so I want to save a whole video for that, for people who find meditation difficult, because I was one of those people, how to get past that. But anyway, so I'm going to wrap up this video because it's getting kind of long, but the pretend game is a great visualization technique that you can use when you're trying to manifest really big things. Remember, it's about, the senses, and it's about your feelings. But play with it, practice it. It's a lot of fun, and you'll notice that your stress levels are going down. And I want to hear stories of people playing the pretend game and what you imagine. So I know that a lot of my friends now are watching these videos, and so I expect to hear back, that you are doing the pretend game and how great it is, so we can laugh at how silly we are together. And if I don't know you in real life, but you're here on YouTube, I would love to hear your stories too, so please share them in the comment section down below. If you would like to subscribe, please do, because then you'll be notified if you hit the notification bell when I upload new videos. And we're just going to work through this whole topic together, and if you have specific questions, please let me know. I'd be happy to hear questions you have, and maybe answer them or make a video to address it. And other than that, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.